Alrighty, so what I want to show you right now is this is the Sony DVD VCR combo that I picked up a couple of weekends ago at garage sales, and I didn't notice that the door was actually broken. So when I went to test it, I pressed eject on the DVD player and the door fell right off. So anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I do with broken units, units that don't work when it comes down to electronics, right? I buy tons and tons of electronics. You know, stereo receivers, speakers, DVD VCR combos, VCRs. I do a lot with vintage stuff. I do a lot with modern stuff. It just all depends. But I do a lot with electronics, period, right? And anytime I get an electronic item that doesn't work, I just put it in the back of the warehouse. Well, you know, after about 4 or 5 months, usually the pile of unworking electronics will start to build up, and I have a buyer that usually will come over and he buys all of the broken electronics that I have. And this basically came about 3 years ago. I was watching I can't remember what kind of show it was, but basically it was a TV show, and the company was like a multi-million-dollar corporation, and they issued laptops and cell phones to all of their employees. And in this show, they were talking about how, like, once a year, they basically take all of the broken electronics that their employees broke or whatever, and they sell them to a third-party company to recoup some of their investments and to make it to where they're not losing a bunch of money every year. And it kind of, made a light bulb go off in the top of my head, because I started to think, hey, I'm a reseller. Every time I come across something that's broken, I usually just throw it away or I try to fix it. Well, I started to put ads on Craigslist. I started to put ads on Facebook and things. And eventually, I found somebody in my local area that repairs stuff like this and then sells it himself on eBay. So I ended up contacting him. We ended up working out some deals, and we've been doing business ever since. So it's funny when I get these units pretty cheap, right? I go to garage sales, estate sales, when you buy like a storage locker or something. No matter what, you're not, actually spending a lot of money on these units. Unless it's a really nice unit, then definitely, I will pay up for a unit. But for the most part, I'm getting these anywhere between like $5 and $10. And over the past couple of years, this guy has been paying me anywhere between $5 and $10. Just depends on the unit, and it depends on what's wrong with it. So if you're not doing that, if you're throwing these units away, or you're donating these units, and you're buying enough to where, it's actually cutting into your overall, profit margins, and it's cutting into the amount of money that you're losing and all that crazy stuff, you should look into trying to find somebody that you can form a relationship with, and that you can start selling all of your broken and unworking electronic items to that person. Another thing is, when I buy stuff and I bring it back to the warehouse and I'm in the process of testing it, if, let's say, I'm testing a unit like this and the DVD player doesn't work but the VCR does, I will write on a sticky note that the DVD player has a problem, VCR works, blase, blase. And that's why this guy loves buying stuff from me, because it makes it to where he's able to give me a better price, because I've already somewhat diagnosed the problem. So it saves him a lot of time. When he gets all of the units back to his shop, he doesn't have to go through each and every unit testing to see what's exactly wrong with it. I've already done the footwork. All he has to do is repair the unit. So anyways, this is the unit that I purchased. Basically what I did was I had the same exact make and model back in the warehouse, and I went ahead and pulled the faceplate off of this unit, and all I'm going to do is put the faceplate onto this unit. If you see here, the door is actually attached to the actual faceplate Also the VHS door. This one's in really good condition. It doesn't have any nicks, dings, or scratches. It doesn't have anything wrong with it. So I'm going to put this one onto this unit. I also have the factory remote, and I also have the factory manual. So basically, also this one has the factory remote and the factory manual, which I will take this and sell it by itself. When I sell him units, I usually don't sell him units with the actual remotes, just because I can make money on selling these. And why? If I'm going to sell it for parts, there's no reason for me to add the remote. Now, sometimes with like certain items, especially like vintage stuff, he will buy remotes from me if I have the remote. But, for the most part, I don't really sell him the remotes. So anyways, this is a prime example of doing a very small repair. This, this thing comes off very easy. It didn't take me a lot of time. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm willing to do myself, right? Now, I'm not going to go in here and try to repair the DVD player. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. My time is more valuable than that. But when it comes down to small repairs, I will definitely do small repairs. It just depends on the unit. It depends on how much it's worth and how long the repair should take me. But yeah, this is a prime example of kind of like, what I do with electronics. This is my testing area. I've showed it before in other videos. But if you're new to the channel and you're a new subscriber, this is pretty much where all of the electronic items get tested. I just have a small TV sitting up here. That's just my test TV, and I got speakers to test stereo receivers and things of that nature. And this is where I test all of the units that are actually sold by me. I test everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I will test every feature before I list it and sell it. And that's just something that I do. I know that there are tons of resellers out there that will only test a few features and will make sure, I've heard of resellers saying, fully tested, 100% guaranteed to work. If you don't like it or if it doesn't work, send it back. And I mean, that method is definitely, it's a good method, right? Because you're telling the buyer that you're guaranteeing the item to work, and if they have a problem with it, just send it back. I typically just make sure that the item works 100%, and I honestly started to do that about, a year or two ago. I just told myself, look, I'm not going to cut any corners. I'm just going to test every single feature on every single item, and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence, and if the buyer receives the item and he says he has a problem, then I can better handle the situation because I know that I tested every single feature. Now, on cheaper items, things that are not really selling for that much money, sometimes I won't go through the entire testing procedure. I will not test every single feature on like a $35 VCR. But when it comes down to a $100 item, a $150 item, a $300, Sansui receiver, or a $500 Marantz receiver, something like that, I'm definitely going to take my time. And so far, so good. I don't get hardly any returns when it comes down to electronics. I very rarely have, issues with people saying that there's something wrong with it. Every now and then I will get, obviously some type of little scammer trying to, get over on me, trying to get a partial refund or something. But for the most part, I don't have any problems. So anyways, I'm going to get back to photographing some items. I still don't know what I'm going to do. I have all of these Simpsons toys. I need to get those photographed and get them put up. I've been working slowly on them. If you haven't checked out the haul video where I picked up all of these Simpsons toys, go back a few videos and check that video out. I've been listing them, but I just, I'm always listing other items. Every time I turn around, I'm getting something cool, and I decide to list it instead of the toys. But one day soon, I'm just going to come into the warehouse and spend an entire day just photographing all of these items so I can get them out of the way. I just don't know when that day is going to come. So hopefully sometime soon, because they're definitely taking up a lot of room. Okay, so I purchased this fluke tester a couple of weeks ago at a garage sale. If you watch my videos, I think it was in one of my haul videos or yard sale sourcing trip videos. But I purchased this. I tried to go to test it, and I kept losing, I guess, battery power. So I couldn't figure out exactly what was wrong with it. So I went ahead and I removed it from its outer shell. I took apart the back of it, and one of the battery terminals, these little things go inside right here on this, for the batteries. And one of the battery terminals appeared to be, I guess, broken at one point, and somebody tried to repair it. But they didn't do that good of a job, and it just cracked right here at the top. So if you can see it, it just doesn't hold the battery connection good enough. So I went ahead and I ordered 2 new terminals. And so I figured this would be a good time to kind of share with you guys that, if you come across, this is a common problem with electronic items, especially items that take batteries. Sometimes these terminals will not only be broken, but they'll actually be, corroded. This one actually had a little bit of corrosion. You can always find, new battery terminals. Usually you can find them pretty easily if you just do a quick, Google search or look on eBay, look on Amazon. But these only cost me $9. So, this is a prime example of an item that is definitely worth quite a bit of money. This should sell at least, $250, maybe even more. This is a Fluke model 1507. I talk a lot about doing simple repairs, repairing units, things of that nature. I know that lots of resellers throw away stuff, or they sell stuff for parts or repair. I know quite a few resellers that would have just probably listed this as, broken parts or repair and sold it for, $75 to $100. Not me. I'm willing to take the time. I'm willing to, do simple repairs and things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and install these, and then I'm going to, put some batteries in it, and hopefully everything works. Alrighty, so I just installed the new terminals, and this thing works perfectly fine. It doesn't shut off. It doesn't do anything. Before, basically what was happening is if you moved it, the battery terminal, the broken battery terminal, was allowing the battery to move around a little bit and cause a disconnection in power. But with the new battery terminals, this thing is working like a charm. Everything works. The backlight works. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna wipe down this and get this looking really good. I'm gonna put it all back together, and this item is gonna sell for some pretty decent money. I'm definitely gonna make some pretty good profits, because I paid, literally a couple of dollars for this item. This item came from a garage sale. I bought I think it was like a bag full of just mixed items from a garage sale. I think I paid $35 for the whole bag of stuff, and there was multiple testers. I already sold one of the testers already for $69.99, and I sold a few other items out of that bag as well. So this item, I just had to wait to get the battery terminals, but I finally got them, installed them. They work great. That was a good job. Okay, so I basically just went inside the house, and all I did was scrub this with regular dish soap and a kind of like a hard bristle brush. And it basically got all of the little scuffs and all of those little black marks and things of that nature. It basically, now it looks really, really good. It had a bunch of little black marks all on the back. With this right here, I used a plastic restorer. This is something that I use on a lot of items, especially if it's plastic. If you want the item to look like really nice, but you know, you don't want it to look like you cleaned it, this stuff works really good because it doesn't leave any kind of like residue. It doesn't leave any, you know, like shiny wetness. It basically absorbs right into the plastic and it makes plastic items look new again. And on the back of this unit was a bunch of little light scuffs, basically just normal wear. And now, if you look at it, there's no markings on the side. There's no markings on the back. There was a few scuff marks on the top. All of those are gone. This stuff works amazing. I use it on so many different items, and definitely not, I am not a, you know, Armor All person. This is literally the only Armor All product that I actually use. I'm definitely not sponsored by them. This is just a product that I love. This is a product that I use a lot. So if you're into the reselling business and you're always messing around with like plastic items, things like that, this works really good on it. It will like basically make plastic look brand new. So anyways, let me go ahead and put this all back together and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Alrighty, so here is the finished product. So I basically turned this item into a good working, good looking, you know, piece of equipment. This was purchased at a garage sale for absolutely pennies on the dollar. And, you know, it looks amazing and it works. All I had to do was do a simple repair to it. I had to order a $9 part. Comes with all of these accessories. This is the type of stuff that I love buying. I love reselling stuff like this. Even though it's not that interesting of an item, these are the kinds of items that keep my business afloat. These are the kinds of items that make me a decent amount of profit. And these are the kinds of items that you should always be on the lookout for. And even if an item doesn't work, you gotta investigate. You gotta look into why it doesn't work, because you can probably fix it for really cheap. Don't just throw it away. Don't just donate it. Don't just sell it for parts or repair. Look in to fixing it, you know, figure out how to fix the item. You know, this was a very easy repair. It cost me $9, and this item is definitely worth fixing. It's one of those items that I would fix, you know, if I had to do it again and again and again, I would fix this item every time because it's worth repairing. So anyways, this item is ready to get listed. Probably not going to do it today, but it will be listed soon. Hopefully it will sell fast, and hopefully I'll be able to get a decent amount of money for it. So anyways, just wanted to kind of share this with you. There it is, the Fluke 1507.